The persecution of Christians in society today is a complex and multifaceted issue that arises from a myriad of factors. Despite being one of the largest and most widespread religions in the world, Christianity faces significant challenges and hostility in many parts of the globe. This persecution can manifest in various forms, ranging from discrimination and marginalization to violence and even death. One of the primary reasons for Christian persecution is the increasing secularization of society. As the world becomes more modern and westernized, traditional Christian values and principles are often seen as outdated and restrictive. Many people view Christianity as a threat to their personal freedoms and lifestyles, particularly in regards to issues such as abortion, same-sex marriage, and gender identity. This has led to a growing intolerance towards Christians, who are often labeled as intolerant or bigoted for holding to their beliefs. Another significant factor contributing to Christian persecution is the rise of militant atheism and anti-Christian sentiment. In recent years, there has been a surge in anti-Christian rhetoric and activism, with many prominent figures and organizations openly expressing hostility towards Christianity. This has created a culture in which Christians are often mocked, ridiculed, and discriminated against, with many feeling forced to hide their faith in order to avoid social ostracism or professional repercussions. The growing influence of radical Islam is also a major contributor to Christian persecution. In many Muslim-majority countries, Christians face significant persecution and violence, with many being forced to flee their homes or convert to Islam. This persecution is often fueled by extremist ideologies that view Christians as infidels or enemies of Islam. The recent rise of ISIS and other terrorist groups has only exacerbated this problem, with many Christians being targeted and killed in brutal and horrific attacks. In addition to these factors, Christian persecution is also driven by economic and political interests. In some countries, Christians are seen as a threat to the ruling elite or the dominant economic interests. For example, in China, the communist government views Christianity as a potential threat to its authority and has therefore implemented strict controls on Christian worship and practice. Similarly, in India, Hindu nationalist groups have been known to attack and persecute Christians, viewing them as a threat to the country's Hindu identity. The impact of Christian persecution can be devastating, with many Christians facing significant hardship and trauma. In addition to the physical and emotional toll of persecution, many Christians also face significant social and economic challenges. In some countries, Christians are denied access to education, employment, and other basic services, making it difficult for them to survive and thrive. The emotional and psychological impact of persecution can also be severe, with many Christians experiencing anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Despite these challenges, many Christians remain committed to their faith and continue to practice their religion in the face of significant persecution. In fact, Christian persecution has often been a catalyst for growth and revival, with many Christians experiencing a deeper sense of faith and purpose in the face of adversity. However, it is essential that the international community takes steps to address Christian persecution and to protect the rights and freedoms of Christians around the world. This can involve a range of measures, including diplomatic pressure, economic sanctions, and humanitarian aid. By working together to address Christian persecution, we can help to create a more just and equitable world, in which all people are free to practice their faith without fear of violence or discrimination.